Your best friend just bit you, your dog, the one who sleeps on your bed, licks your face, and you've loved unconditionally for years. And now, you're bleeding. You're confused. You're hurt, not just physically, but emotionally. You're asking yourself, why would they do this to me? What if I told you that your dog didn't bite you because they're aggressive or mean? What if that bite was actually a desperate cry for help? A warning sign, a message they've been trying to communicate for weeks, maybe months. I'm about to show you exactly what your dog has been trying to tell you. And once you understand this language, you'll never look at your dog the same way again. More importantly, you might prevent the next bite, whether it's aimed at you, your child, or someone else. Stay tuned. Let me tell you about Sarah. She had a golden retriever named Max. Beautiful dog. Everyone who met Max loved him. He was gentle, playful, and she'd had him for 8 years without a single incident. One afternoon, her nephew came over to visit. Sarah was making coffee in the kitchen. Her nephew, excited to see Max, went straight to his face and tried to pet him. Max snapped. He bit the kid's hand. Not hard, but enough to break the skin. Sarah was devastated. She cried. She felt like a bad dog owner. She even considered giving Max away. She thought she had failed him somehow, but here's what nobody told her. Max had been communicating his discomfort for months before that bite. He would turn his head away when someone approached. He would stand up and walk away from kids. He would lick his lips nervously. He would put his tail between his legs. He would yawn when touched. These weren't signs of aggression. These were signs of fear, anxiety, and stress. They were Max's way of saying, "Please, I'm not comfortable. Give me space." But nobody noticed. Because we don't speak dog language. That bite wasn't a random act of violence. It was a last resort. A final warning after weeks of polite, desperate communication. And this happens in homes across the world every single day. Millions of times a year. So here's the question that should be going through your mind right now. If your dog has been communicating politely, why aren't we hearing them? The answer is simple. Because we're looking for the wrong signs. We're expecting dogs to communicate like humans. We think a dog will sit us down and explain their feelings. But that's not how it works. Dogs have been communicating since they were born. They've been sending signals for millennia. The problem is, most of us have forgotten how to listen. We're too busy, too distracted, too disconnected from our dog's actual behavior. We assume that because our dog eats their food and wags their tail sometimes, everything is fine. But your dog is constantly sending you messages, hundreds of them, every single day. And if we can learn to read even just the basic ones, we can prevent bites before they happen. We can reduce anxiety in our dogs. We can create a relationship built on actual understanding instead of assumptions. But what exactly is your dog trying to tell you when they bite? Let's dive into the science of that. Before we talk about bites, we need to understand the dog's stress scale. Think of it like a thermometer of discomfort. It starts at 0 and goes up to 10. Subtle stress. Signals at the lowest levels, your dog is communicating extreme politeness. They're basically saying, "Hey, I'm not totally comfortable, but I'm still being nice about it." These include turning, their head away or avoiding eye contact lip, licking or nose licking, slow blinks yawning, not because they're tired, whale eye, where you see the whites of their eyes, stiff body posture, tail tucked or held, low ears pinned back, moving in slow motion. Sitting or lying down when approached. Sarah's Max was doing almost all of these before he bit her nephew. He was saying, "I'm nervous. Please respect my space." Escalating stress. If the uncomfortable situation continues and the dog's polite warnings are ignored, they move to the next level. Growling. This is good communication. They're still giving you a warning. Lunging forward without contact, snapping at the air. Teeth click together but don't make contact. Stiff. Forward-facing posture. Direct eye contact with a hard stare. raised hackles, fur standing on end, rapid breathing, trembling. Notice something? At this stage, the dog is still trying to avoid biting. They're escalating their warning. Growling is not aggression, it's communication. A dog that growls is being honest with you. They're drawing a line and saying, "Don't cross it." I'm serious. The bite. When none of the previous warnings work. When the dog has tried to communicate in every way possible and the threat hasn't been removed, the dog makes a choice. It's not a choice based on meanness or cruelty. It's a choice based on survival. It's a last resort. The dog is saying, "I asked nicely. I warned you clearly. I have no other option left." When a dog bites, it's almost always because fear. They believe their safety is threatened. They think if they don't bite, something terrible will happen to them. Protection. They're protecting their puppies, food, territory, or a sick family member. Pain. They're in physical pain, and contact makes it worse. Resource guarding. They believe someone is taking something valuable from them. Redirected aggression. They're already stressed about something else, and a minor trigger causes an overflow. The key insight here is this. A dog that bites is communicating desperation, not aggression. This is the scientific truth that changes everything. In fact, studies show that dogs have an incredible bite inhibition. If a dog wanted to seriously hurt you, they could. But most bites are actually controlled. The dog is giving you a warning bite, not trying to cause serious damage. Think about it. A dog's mouth can exert 200+ pounds of pressure per square inch, yet most bites result in minor puncture wounds. That's not an accident. That's a dog showing restraint even while they're afraid or stressed. So now that you know what your dog is actually trying to communicate when they bite, what do you do about it? Learn to read the early signs. Stop waiting for a bite. Start watching for those level 1-3 signals. When you see your dog, turning their head away, lip licking, moving slowly or stiffly, putting their tail down. Avoiding eye contact, this is your green light to change something immediately. Give your dog space. Remove them from the situation. Stop the interaction. You're not rewarding bad behavior. You're respecting communication. You're saying, "I hear you. I see you're uncomfortable. I'm removing the threat." Step 2. Understand the context. Ask yourself, is my dog being touched in a sensitive area? Are they being cornered or trapped? Is a child in their face? Are they in pain? Are they guarding something? Have they had enough social interaction for one day? Are they sick or injured? Most bites happen because the context triggered the dog's stress response. Step 3. Redesign the environment. If your dog tends to stress around children, don't keep putting them in situations with children. If your dog guards food, feed them separately. If your dog gets overwhelmed at parties, give them a quiet space. This isn't limiting your dog. This is setting them up for success and preventing trauma. Step 4. Teach handling skills. Work with a positive reinforcement trainer, not someone who uses force or punishment. Teach your dog that handling is actually positive. Touch their paws, gently hold their face, handle their ears, but only during times when they're calm and comfortable. Reward them heavily. Make handling something they actually want. Step 5. Pay attention to growling. This is crucial. Never punish a dog for growling. Growling is healthy communication. If you punish the growl, you don't get a dog that stops growling. You get a dog that bites without warning. You're taking away their voice. Instead, when your dog growls, thank them for the warning and remove the threat. This actually strengthens the bond because your dog knows you listen. Step 6. Get professional help. If your dog has already bitten, or if you're seeing consistent stress signals, consult a certified dog behaviorist, not just a trainer. They can create a specific plan for your dog's needs. This isn't about dominance or punishment. It's about understanding what your dog is actually afraid of or stressed by. and helping them feel safe. Empowerment, closing emotion. Here's what I want you to understand by the end of this video. Your dog is not trying to hurt you. They're trying to communicate with you. Every behavior, including a bite, is your dog trying to tell you something. When you learn to listen, everything changes. You stop seeing your dog as unpredictable. You start seeing them as someone who's been trying to communicate all along. Someone who's been polite, actually. Given everything they've gone through, you stop blaming yourself for being a bad dog owner. You start taking responsibility for being a better listener, and your dog stops feeling unheard. They stop escalating. They stop biting. They relax. Because finally, someone understands them. This is how you build a real relationship with your dog. So here's what I want you to do right now. Watch your dog today. Really watch them. Not while you're scrolling on your phone. Actually watch. For just 15 minutes. See how many of those early stress signals you can spot. Second, if you see any of those signals, change something. Give them space. Remove the trigger. Respect what they're trying to tell you. Third, if you have a dog that's already shown aggression or bitten, reach out to a certified behaviorist this week. Not next month, this week. It's not too late to build understanding. And finally, share this with someone who has a dog. Someone you know who might not realize what their dog is trying to communicate. Because the more people who understand dog language, the fewer dogs get hurt. The fewer people get bitten. The fewer dogs end up surrendered or put down because nobody listened. Dog bites aren't a mystery. They're a message. And now you know how to decode them. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more videos about understanding animal behavior. Next week, we're breaking down the 7 stress signals your dog shows right before they bite and how to catch them before it's too late. You won't want to miss it. See you then.